So here we go. Skip Schumacher to lead it off. He looks at ball one from Oakland. This game is underway. Of course, a season ago, Schumacher was getting playing time in the outfield. Worked very hard during the offseason when the Cardinals made the decision that he would be converted to a second baseman. And he's the first Cardinal to move from the outfield to second base since the Hall of Famer Red Shane-Dinks back in 1945 and 46. A breezy day in Cleveland, just shy of 70 degrees, but lots of sunshine. It's 1-2 to Schumacher. And this guy can swing the bat.
Good curveball as well. Needs to pitch ahead. Let's go to the pitcher profile. He's got the good curveball we were talking about. And the forgotten man, Tom, this guy went 17 days on the active roster and never pitched. So he's been the forgotten man, but all of a sudden, because of injuries, now he finds himself in the starting rotation. And he won his last outing, threw a good ball game against the Reds. And by the way, Tom, that pitcher profile, it was brought to you by Sprint.
Well, you never miss a beat. Smooth as silk, just like your playing days down at first with the Cubbies and the Diamondbacks. There's a ground ball to Brendan Ryan, and Jamie Carroll retired. Of course, the Indians, whenever you see them playing, you don't see Grady Sizemore leading off the game. You know it's generally not good news for the Tribe. Having said that, Sizemore, who's been out with an elbow injury since the final day of May, the Indians have played quite well without him after getting off to a terrible start. They won 14 of their last 23 games. Ball one to Mark DeRosa.
Eric Wedge just trying to keep him in contention, because just like the National League Central, Tom, nobody in the American League Central wants to really take this thing by the horns as well. They're only 7 back, and I just think Eric Wedge has done a great job of keeping these guys focused.
2-1 to DeRosa. You look at the American League Central Division standings going into play today. The Tigers 3.5 better than Minnesota. White Sox had a chance to put a big dent in that lead early in the week when they played 5 times and lost ground in that series. And then Cleveland at 7 back. As we brought up earlier, the Indians are hoping to have 3/5 of their starting rotation back by the end of this month. Most notably, Jake Westbrook, who went down with Tommy John surgery in May of last year. Aaron Laffey right around the corner from returning. Scott Lewis here hoping to have back. And then the mystery of Fausto Carmona, their talented, hard-throwing right-hander that was sent all the way back to Arizona just to clear his mind of everything that's been going on. They didn't send him to AAA Columbus. They didn't send him to AA or rookie ball. They sent him to Arizona, where they have their spring training.
Get away from the major league club. Get away from all of it.
In the air by DeRosa, right into the teeth of that wind we talked about, and Ludwig's got it for the second out of the inning.
It's going to take a poke to get it out of here to right field. Just about anywhere today. It is thrown straight in. Pretty stiff.
And very cool. Well, we mentioned earlier, it's not even 70 degrees here today.
That is a large flag blowing straight in.
Victor Martinez, a .339 batter, 10 home runs and 44 runs batted in. Martinez all over the leaderboard in various categories offensively among American leaguers. 3rd in hits, 3rd best on base percentage, at batting average, 3rd best in the league, 5th in total bases. On the ground of the shortstop, Bryant. So each pitcher puts together a perfect opening frame. We move to the 2nd, and Cleveland no score. Sprint. Get more done with Nextel Direct Connect, only on the Now Network. And by Craftsman, trust in your hands. Welcome back to Cleveland, Ohio. Game 2 of this 3-game interleague weekend series between the Cardinals and the Indians. Neither team with a base runner as we begin the second inning. And here's Colby Rasmus, a rookie Alabaman who's swung the bat so well after getting very limited playing time in April. He only had 3 extra base hits the entire month. There's a bullet down the first, knocked down by Garco. And the feed in time, one away. Ryan Ludwig coming up, and let's get to know him a little bit better.
Ludwig, outfielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. I was born in Florida, grew up in Vegas, went to high school with Kurt Busch. Just played a lot of soccer, basketball, and baseball growing up as a kid. In the off-season, I play some golf. I do a little bit of fishing, do some yard work around the house. I used to be a big rock and roll guy. I still do like rock and roll, but I moved to Texas from Vegas about 5 years ago, and I've become quite the country buff.
Oh, yeah. You move down there to Texas, and all of a sudden, guys like George Strait, among others.
Oh, yeah.
You're dialed in.
Yeah, you get to know Willie Nelson very well in Texas.
Lives down in Austin, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh-huh.
Ludwig, an all-star a season ago, was on the disabled list for a couple of weeks with an injured hamstring this year, and they're hoping that he can start cranking it back up. I mean, like Pujols and the rest of this Cardinal team, he was not going to cover off the ball in April. And hits have been few and far between ever since.
Ludwig, a guy that was, just seemed like every time he made contact, it went over the boards. Home runs, lots of RBIs. He was the perfect guy for Tony La Russa to hit behind Albert Pujols. But it's been a struggle lately.
Well, when you look at now 7 St. Louis Cardinals that have hit behind Albert Pujols in that cleanup spot so far this year. I mean, the numbers are just downright ugly. 3rd from the bottom in batting average, 3rd from the bottom in on-base percentage, 4th from the bottom in slugging percentage. Extra base hits, only 2 teams have gotten fewer from their cleanup hitter. And Colby Rasmus, we mentioned today, is in there for the 3rd time on this current road trip, and they're hoping maybe he'll be the answer.
It's rare you see a rookie hitting in the 4-hole, especially behind the great Albert Pujols. But La Russa's really had no choice. Just about every warm body he's put there, I mean, it's just been a failure.
I mean, those numbers would be even uglier if it weren't for the start that Ludwig had this year. That ball in the air to right field. It'll back up Chu for the 2nd out of the inning. So now the designated hitter Chris Duncan will settle in. A .249 batter, 4 home runs and 28 runs batted in. No National League team has done the DH better than the Cardinals over the years when it comes to getting designated hitting. Go back to the start of interleague play in 1997. Now the Cardinals designated hitters have a National League best .325 batting average.
Were you a big fan of interleague play, Tom Brenneman? You've been around this game for many,
I wouldn't mind taking a couple
years.
years away from it, but I do enjoy it. What about you?
I think it can work. I like some of it. Like, for instance, I think it's great when you get New York against New York, or you get San Francisco against Oakland, even St. Louis and Kansas City.
Cleveland and Cincinnati.
Cleveland and Cincinnati. I think that works. Dodgers, Angels. But I think also, in a lot of ways, there's not a whole lot of interest, I think, by baseball fans, period, for Braves Twins. Something like that. I just think that, or Toronto, Florida. I just think that there's a lack of interest there. And I think also it can work if you get a universal set of rules for baseball. Either put the DH in both leagues or abolish it and have everybody play by the same rules. And I think it can work better.
It's a good-looking series, at least the way the 2 teams lay out this year, going on in Philadelphia over the weekend, where you have the Boston Red Sox and the Philadelphia Phillies. Obviously, this year, that is a very interesting series. Oka thought that was strike 3. Boy, That looked like a pretty good pitch from here.
Let's take a look. Tomohooka, a little demonstrative out there. He gets the fastball. Boy, that's awfully close. I think Duncan very pleased that he's still in the box.
And on the next pitch, yep, breaks his back. Dumps one into right field, a hit.
He went to the outside corner, didn't get the call, tries to come in on the hands of Chris Duncan. He does get it in on him. But the big, strong, designated hitter able to fight it off and get it out in front of Chu in right field.
So the inning continues with 2 down and Duncan at first for Yadier Molina. Hitting at .258, 4 home runs and 19 runs batted in. Of course, last weekend, Molina took a bat off of his head behind the plate from Colorado's Todd Helton. Well, he was woozy for a couple of days. Colorado went into St. Louis and swept a 4-game series.
Colorado playing great baseball right now.
They're under their new manager and native Ohioan Jim Tracy. That one lined to center, and that'll end the inning. A hit a man left. Shin-Soo Choo, one of the best kept secrets in all of baseball, will start things for the Tribe in the second. Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. Home to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Cleveland, Ohio. And for the bottom half of the second inning, a scoreless game, Shin-Soo Choo hitting at .297, 8 home runs, 38 runs batted in. And ever since this young man has come to the big leagues, he's played basically in 1 full year and knocked in over 90 runs. This guy's a good-looking young player. Can do a lot of things. A good outfielder with a good arm. Can steal bases. He has 9 of them on the year.
And he's a guy that you said he's one of the best kept secrets in all of baseball. I think you're absolutely right on the money, Tom. The more you watch this kid play, the more you love him.
Pulled hard to the right side. Schumacher is there, and Brad Thompson sets down Chu to start the second inning. 4 up, 4 down for Thompson. Now, Gracie, you and I remember when Brad Thompson first came to the major leagues. He was pitching out of the bullpen. And you go back to 2005, he had a 2.95 ERA. The next year, 3.3 in 43 games. But then problems began in 2007. 44 games overall. Had a spot start in an injury plague year for their rotation. 17 starts that year, made 6 starts a year ago. And, I'm not sure to say it's, that he fell out of favor with the organization, but clearly is not pitching in the kind of situations that he was when he first came up. Johnny Peralta ground ball to third for the second out of the inning. But now he's getting another chance in a different role, and he might be out there for a while because Kyle Loesch could be out for a while.
And you're always having to prove yourself at the major league level, whether you've been around 10 years or maybe just 1 or 2 years. You always have to earn your keep up here in the major leagues because, Tom, potential can only get you to the major leagues. It doesn't keep you in the major leagues. And this is a results league. And if you're not getting the results, then guys like Tony La Russa, they can't keep running you out there. As a starter now, he's got a new lease on life, and he's been throwing the ball well.
Up and away, ball 1 to Travis Hefner. There's Kyle Loesch. They're hoping that he will be back within the next 3 to 4 weeks, but it would not surprise anybody if he is out through the All-Star break. Had some tingling in his right forearm and missed a start when they were out west in San Francisco, and then they just shut him down.
It's never a good thing when you're just completely shut down. Don't throw, don't do anything.
Two and one on Hafner, who's trying to get all the way back to 100% health from that surgically repaired right shoulder. Just not the thump in that bat that used to be there for Hafner when he was one of the most feared hitters in the league just 2 years ago.
Just a guy that every time he came to the plate, he was a threat to hit one not only into the seats, Aaron, but he's one of these guys with light tower power. He made you ooh and ah at how far he could hit the ball.
Saw those numbers. I mean, over a 4-year run, averaged 32 home runs and 109 runs batted in. But then the problems with the shoulder, and they just can't get him back all the way. Pronkville, they call it out there. It's his nickname, Pronk. There's a ground ball again to second. Schumacher throws him out. Back-to-back perfect frame for Brad Thompson. No score. We're back to Cleveland after these messages from your local Fox station. Scoreless game. The Cardinals come to bat here in the top half of the third inning against Tomooka, who allowed a 2-out single to Chris Duncan in the second inning, and that has been the game's only base runner. First pitch swinging on the ground off the bat of Joe Thurston. One pitch and one out for Oaken. One thing he is doing, throwing a lot of strikes.
Well, when you work fast and you throw strikes, Tom, you're going to get good defensive plays behind it.
Bank of America Fan Cam brought to you by Bank of America Home Loans, making a commitment to home and to homeowners. Starting now, home has a new address. You were talking about all the Cardinal fans in town here last night.
Met a lot of them here last night.
Of course, this is the 80s day, if you will, and so lots of garb.
Who are those rascals?
I'm not sure. There's Bette Midler. She's here today. Well, she's aged nicely.
She really has.
Yep.
You know, yes. At the bingo parlor last night, I got in yesterday afternoon, was able to get down to the bingo parlor. Saw a lot of Cardinal fans out.
Nice. On a beautiful weather weekend here in Cleveland.
Love bingo.
1-0 the count on Brendan Ryan, a Cardinals shortstop, an even .300 batter. And it's 1-1. So before the game and during the game, in between innings, they've been playing all this 1980s music. And I mean, whether
I kind of like it.
Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band or
Sticks.
Yep, some great stuff they've been playing. I know one of your all-time favorites, Boy George and Culture Club. That pitch taken down and away, 2-2.
Well, you know what's funny is about Culture Club and Boy George, and that was when we were young, Tom, or younger. But and Culture Club and Boy George has certainly been the subject of a lot of jokes now that we're in our 40s. But you know and I know, you listen to them and you know the words just like I do.
You're right. Guilty as charged. Popped up to the second baseman. And there are 2 away in the inning. I mean, I got to admit it.
Yeah, I mean, I know the words to a lot of the Culture Club songs. I have to admit it.
A lot of people.
How about Foreigner? Were you a Foreigner guy?
Absolutely.
Lou Gramm?
You were a big Journey guy.
I still kind of like Journey. Have you seen Journey since they've replaced? They've got the new singer.
No. Steve Perry, was that his name?
Steve Perry was the older, the former singer. They got a new guy, and he sounds even more like Steve Perry than Steve Perry.
Really?
It's unbelievable.
Wow. 2 down in the inning for Schumacher, who pops it up into foul ground. It's Jamie Carroll, and the inning is over.
Do it, Tomo Oka.
We're grooving on 80s music and unis and baseball.
Culture Club.
base runner against Cardinal right-hander Brad Thompson. A first pitch fastball, and there's a strike for Ryan Garko.
Well, both pitchers, he's coming out pounding the strike zone, getting quick, easy outs.
Breaking ball hit off the end of the bat, foul, and Garko behind 0-2. A .259 batter, 6 home runs, 24 runs batted in. Indians love having Garko up there at the plate with runners on base. He just has a knack. For a guy who doesn't play every day, and when he has had a chance in his career to play every day, he will knock in runs. And Gracie, you were one of those guys that when you came up there with runners in scoring position, you found a way to get them in.
Well, you were taught a long time ago that the basic rule is not how you hit. Ouch. Speaking of hit, Garko takes one right in the arm, and he'll get a painful trip to first base. But it's not how you hit, it's when you hit. And if you can hit with runners in scoring position, you're going to stick around a long time. That fastball just runs in and drills it. First base runner of the afternoon here for Cleveland.
Well, last year the Indians set an American League record. 103 times they had batters hit by pitches, and now that's 44 so far this season. 44.
That's a lot of plunks.
If they got Carlos Quentin, they'd set an all-time baseball record. I don't know if anybody gets hit more than that guy.
Never seen anything like it. And it's not like Carlos Quentin of the Chicago White Sox is right on the plate. I mean, he's a statue. He just doesn't move when the ball's coming at him. Man, I always tried to get out of the way because it hurts.
Double play ball here. Ryan Schumacher bats a double play off the bat of Valbuena. And they're 2 away in the inning. Well, next week, a great weekend of interleague action right here on Fox. Some will see the Battle of Mizzou, the Cardinals and the Royals. Others will see the Brewers and the Tigers. Well, that's a good matchup. And the Tampa Bay Rays, starting to get healthy and playing good baseball, will go to take on the Mets. Mets 11-7 in interleague play over the last couple of years. That's tied for the best record in the National League. Make sure you check local listings for the game and start time in your area. And that Brewers-Detroit series, at least as of today, those are the division leaders of the National and Central Division.
I'm going to be fortunate enough to be doing that game, Tom Brenneman.
Are you?
Yeah, looking forward to getting to new Tiger Stadium. I love that ballpark. Beautiful ballpark. And the Brew Crew, they can hit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 0-2 the count on Trevor Crowe, and there's a swing and a miss. Molina will flip it down to first, and that's that. How about Brad Thompson? 1 base runner in 3 innings, no hits, no runs. to order. $5 footlong by Cadouette and by Bank of America Home Loans. Starting now, home has a new address. Cleveland is the home to that structure, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, along the banks of Lake Erie. Well, that is some kind of place. If you ever make your way here to Cleveland, that is a must stop.
Without a doubt.
Part of the order here for the Cardinals against Tomo-Oka, who makes his first start in the big leagues in 2 years. He's only allowed one base runner. That was a 2-out broken bat single by Chris Duncan in the second inning. And Peel, Pujols, and Colby Rasmus up in the Cardinal fourth inning. Hardest hit ball of the game, but right into the glove of Valbuena. Caught up with Eric Wedge in between innings. He's very pleased with his starter, Tomo-Oka, so far.
Yeah, I really am. You know what? He's being aggressive. He's on the plate. You know, he's trusting his stuff and being efficient in the process. So yeah, we're really happy with this start so far.
What's the game plan so far with Brad Thompson? You guys going to have to go to plan B?
Well, you know what? I tell you what, we're fishing for pitches that we don't need to be swinging at. You know, we're trying to put balls in play before 2 strikes that we don't need to be offering at. So we got to do a better job, with our discipline up there.
You know, Eric, we talked to you before the game. You got to feel like you got to be pretty proud of your team the way at least you're hanging in there right now with all these injuries.
I feel like we're getting better. I feel like these guys are gaining confidence. We've got a lot of young players up here. I know we've got a lot of guys in the DL fighting to get back here, but this team right here, we feel like we can win with.
Eric, thanks for the time. Best of luck.
All right, good luck, guys. We'll see you.
Well, Eric Wedge not pleased about that hearty crack of the bat. Number 21 for Albert Pujols, who is now homered in 3 consecutive games. And he is something else.
We said if you make a mistake to him, he pounds it into the seats. That's a hanging slider, and it is just crushed into the left center bleachers. I mean, that got out of here quickly. What a play.
Albert Pujols gives the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. Nice play there by Oka on a hard hit ball back up the box by Rasmus. 2 away in the inning. You got to bear in mind when you talk about the all-time greats in the history of the game. Albert Pujols now 340 home runs, and this is his 9th year. He's got the rest of this year to go right by the Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner, and he will race long past Kiner.
I have a feeling he'll probably get there about by the All-Star break.
Might be right. I mean, the numbers are just staggering when you look back at what Pujols has accomplished in less than a decade of his major league career. Ludwig, a foul tip into the mitt of Victor Martinez. Pujols, his batting average since breaking into the major leagues, .334, which is best among all players. And it's better than Ichiro, it's better than Todd Helton. A 2-time National League Most Valuable Player, including last year, won the Rookie of the Year when he broke in 01. Has won a batting title, has won a Gold Glove for what he's done defensively at first place. And of course is the first and only player in Major League history to hit 30 or more homers, score 100 or more runs, knock in 100 or more runs in each of his first 8 years.
It's truly outstanding. Well, we got a big old hunk of the left foot of Ryan Ludwig. He just makes it look easy. And he'll tell you it's not. As you see the painful foul ball there, Ryan Ludwig still trying to shake it off. That one got him good.
By the way, that home run by Pujols, that gave him 1,600 career hits.
Stay healthy, son. You're fun to watch.
No question about that. In the air down the right field line and tailing out of play. Still 1-2 on Ryan Ludwig. Of course, Pujols in 2003, just his 3rd year in the major leagues, he led the National League in hits. Had 212 hits. Out in front of the plate, that is a fair ball. Ludwig stopped. He thought it was foul. And Martinez throws him out. Well, the Cardinals jump on the board. A hanging breaking ball from Oka. And when you hang them to Albert Pujols,
it makes a loud sound.
Indeed. 1-0 St. Louis after 3.5. You all right? One 0 St. Louis as Cleveland bats in the bottom half of the 4th inning against Brad Thompson. A home run by Albert Pujols in the top half of the inning, accounting for the game's lone run. Top of the order against Thompson. Jamie Carroll looks at a breaking ball down and away. A ball and a strike. Carroll grounded out to the shortstop. Brendan Ryan, his first time up. That ball hit hard but pulled foul. Carroll began the year on the disabled list. He fractured his left hand in the final spring training at bat, but has gotten regular playing time due to a number of injuries on his Cleveland team and has done a pretty good job. Slow roller by the mound. Again, it's Ryan who bobbles, and that means Carroll will reach safely.
Well, speed puts the pressure on the defense, Tom, and Jamie Carroll can fly down the line. Brendan Ryan knows that, and because of that, he just gets a little too quick with it, boots it, and that's a free base runner for the Indians.
Now Mark DeRosa. 10 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Came over in a deal during the offseason from the Chicago Cubs. DeRosa hit better than 20 home runs, knocked in nearly 90 runs for Lou Piniella's team last year. And many in Chicago are just
ruining.
Well, yeah, they're wondering, why in the world, when you have such a versatile player, such a team guy, would you trade away Mark DeRosa? And it doesn't make any difference to get into the whole Milton Bradley debate. Do you want Milton Bradley, and you signed him, and because you signed him, you moved DeRosa. Just take Mark DeRosa for what he is. Very versatile, exactly, and a rock-solid player that you no longer have on your team.
It's one of those things. The old cliche, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, this guy just helped you win a lot of baseball games the last couple of years in Chicago. And like you said, it really didn't It's baffling why you would move a guy like this. And as good as he is on the field, he's even better in the clubhouse. One of the good guys in the game.
DeRosa, free agent at the end of this season. 1-0 on Mark DeRosa, leadoff man aboard, and it's just off the inside corner. 2 balls and no strikes.
Thompson's got the good sinker going. Lots of ground balls today. The only blemish is a hit by pitch and then an error here to start the bottom of the 4th.
3-0. You know, oftentimes we talk about it. When a starting pitcher goes a long time without pitching out of the stretch, all of a sudden they can have a batter where they have a hard time getting command of their stuff, working out of the stretch rather than the windup. Only the second batter the entire game that Thompson has pitched out of the stretch, and he walks him on 4 straight pitches. We caught up with Tony La Russa in between innings and asked him, is Albert Pujols the greatest player you have ever seen?
Boy, it's so hard to disrespect anybody by answering that truthfully, because I don't want to disrespect any of the great ones that are playing or have played, but I've never seen anybody better. Albert is amazing at how he plays the game, not just the hitting, but the defense, the base running, being a teammate, teaching, helping. He's amazing.
Brad Thompson, meanwhile, your starter today, throwing the ball well in one of his 2 starts. What do you think so far today?
Well, Brad's very competitive. I mean, as long as he's got, you know, he hadn't really been trained as a starter here out of spring training, and we'll see, watch him closely. But he's always serious about the game between a pitcher and a hitter, and he gives you his best, so we always got a chance.
Much has been made about your offense, Tony. I know you feel like that these guys are going to start swinging the bat better.
Yeah, I do. I mean, we have talent, better talent than most people think, and we go about it right. And we were a little sluggish, but we're looking, what's Charlie Lau's word? Hitterish. We're looking hitterish.
Thanks for the time today. Good luck.
All right.
Brought it up earlier, 6 wins shy of 2,500.
I was going to say, maybe a lot of people are probably saying Tony La Russa is the best manager they've ever seen.
Meanwhile, Brad Thompson cannot find the strike zone with a compass here. 5 straight pitches he's missed. 4 to DeRosa. And ball 1 to Victor Martinez. And there's a strike and a good pitcher strike on the inside corner to the switch hitting Martinez.
You call that one the comebacker. He starts it off the plate inside, right at the left-handed hitter's front hip, brings it right to the inside corner. That was a great pitch.
One delivery on the way. Bouncing ball that gets through into right field. A base hit. They're going to wave around Carroll. Throw goes into third, and not in time there as it's cut off. A run-scoring single by Martinez makes it a 1-1 game.
Well, when you make mistakes at this level, you get burned. A mistake to start the inning, an error on the shortstop, then a 4-pitch walk. And a great hitter like Victor Martinez, you get guys on base with nobody out, and you plate a fastball, he's going to hurt you. Great base running as well by Mark DeRosa, going first to third on that base hit.
Chu steps in with runners on the corner, still nobody out in this 1-1 game in the bottom of the 4th. Strike 1.
There's that comebacker again. That is a great weapon to the left-handed hitter. You don't get those swung at very often. You just think they're inside.
Off the outside corner. You can hear that drum.
What's that noise out there?
John Adams.
That's our guy, John Adams. He's been at it for years. There he is. Oh. Terrible memories.
Now, what bad memories do you have?
Well, as a Cub, when interleague play first started, come in here in the mid-'90s, and well, you talk about some bomb squads here for the Indians.
Oh, yeah.
The Albert Bell days and
Manny,
Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez. You get a couple run lead, and 6th, 7th inning, all of a sudden, big John Adams.
Runner gets caught between first and second, and out at first is Martinez. Well, that's a big out right there for St. Louis. The first out in this inning.
Well,
Martinez caught in no man's land.
Yeah, the mistake there by Victor Martinez. You don't mind the aggressiveness as the ball gets away, but once you commit to go, well, just keep going. And he just got out in no man's land. And a big out there for Brad Thompson and the Cardinals.
So now St. Louis will bring the infield about halfway in on the left side, all the way in. They come charging in further on the pitch. Swung on and missed by Chu, and that is strike 3 for the second out of the inning. Boy, how quickly the complexion of this inning has changed.
Mr. Breaking Ball stays up in the zone, but Chu swings right through it. And DeRosa stays at third. I was about to say, every time Big John Adams started banging that drum out in left field, just mail in a 5-run inning with those Indian teams. Lofton would get it started with a base hit, and then it was just right down the line. Whack, whack. Next thing you know, you're down by 6 runs. And Big John Adams is relentless out there. There's no mercy rule with him.
No. And 1 the count, and it's on the ground, foul. Of course, they had guys like Richie Sexton and Brian Giles and Sean Casey that were backup players on some of those teams.
Didn't play on those teams because, wow, I've never seen a better offensive ball club than those Indian teams. They were just out, and pitching wasn't really that big a deal. Nah, we'll just get somebody out there to throw some strikes. We'll just outscore you. And they did.
0-2 on Peralta, and a breaking ball is in the dirt. Of course, that 1999 Cleveland Indians team scored over 1,000 runs, the 5th most by any major league club in the history of baseball. 1-2 on Peralta. Jam shot, foul ball out of play.
Pretty good pitch there by Thompson. Fastball just run right in on the hands of Peralta, probably to set up a breaking ball here. All right, going right back in there.
And got him swinging to end the inning.
It's a heck of a job by Thompson.
1 unearned run, a 1-1 game at the end of 4 in Cleveland. Back in Cleveland, Ohio, a 1-1 game as St. Louis bats in the top half of the 5th inning. Chris Duncan, Yadier Molina, and Joe Thurston against Tomo Oka. Only 2 hits for St. Louis against Oka, one of them a solo home run by Albert Pujols. It came in the 4th inning. Oka began the year at AAA Columbus. After reassignment out of Major League camp midway through spring training. Had a 3-3 record there in 9 starts with an ERA of under 3.5. Threw a lot of strikes. He only walked a batter per 9 innings. So he'll do that. He's doing it here today. Not walked a batter, not hit a batter. And no sooner do you say that, he falls behind 3-1.
Probably goes 3-1. Attaboy, Tomo.
Broken bat roller, and that is a foul ball. And as you like to say, Mr. Grace, how would you categorize that?
Oh dear, that one was deep on the hands, deep in the kitchen of Chris Duncan. My goodness, 3-1 pitch. You're looking to get the header. Whoa! I mean, that was a legitimate saw job right there. Oh dear.
Well, Chris going over to get a new piece of lumber. He'll take a deep breath and make his way up to the plate on a 3-2 count upcoming. Well, certainly the Cardinals are well aware of what's already going on today in Milwaukee. The Brewers are the National League's Central Division leaders. Going into play today, St. Louis a game and a half out, Cincinnati 2.5 out. Cubs have already lost their game today to slip to 1 game under 500. And really, when you look at the 4 teams in contention in that Central Division, the 2 most injured teams have been by far St. Louis and Cincinnati. I mean, by a mile. Milwaukee's really only had 1 significant injury, and that's Ricky Weeks, their second baseman.
Right.
He's out for the year. Chicago had Rich Harden return to their rotation today, but Aramis Ramirez is the only key injury for that team. Well, speaking of the Brewers, we'll tell you what's happening there, brought to you by DirecTV. In the 2nd inning, no score with 2 on, Jason Nix. A ground rule double to bring in Paul Konerko. And the White Sox have a 6-0 lead. That game in the bottom of the 3rd inning in Milwaukee.
And that's left-hander Manny Parra for the Brewers. He's having a tough time getting it figured out this year. A bright future and great stuff, but he's getting hit hard this year.
Well, we talked about St. Louis and the injuries they've had to deal with Ankiel and Ryan Ludwig and Chris Carpenter. Khalil Green has been out for quite some time. There's a base hit in the left field by Yadier Molina. Cincinnati, their young star first baseman Joey Votto is out. Their regular third baseman Edwin Encarnacion and their all-star pitcher Edinson Volquez out.
Yadier Molina just got him a high fastball, and he was waiting for that and just jumped all over it and ripped it into left field. Yeah, the Central's certainly up for grabs in both the National and American League. Detroit, what a job Jim Leyland's done turning that thing back around.
Joe Thurston, runner goes, swing and a miss, and the throw is in the dirt, and Molina reaches safely with a stolen base. All it had to do was get there in the air to Johnny Peralta, and Molina was out.
Hit and run, and it's a failed hit and run, but I guess it's not failed when you reach second base. Not crazy about the effort there from Peralta. Sure, he could have even gotten in front of it and knocked it down and still maybe been able to pick the ball up and tag Molina. Molina had given up on the play, so that'll go as a stolen base.
Teams run frequently on this Cleveland pitching staff, and the games where Martinez is behind the plate.
Those were pretty poor numbers throwing wise for Victor Martinez. Certainly a joy to have in the lineup, but throwing runners out, certainly not his strong suit.
1-1 to Joe Thurston. That one fouled away to go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thurston bounced out sharply to Ryan Garko, his first time up. Joe Thurston, a highly touted prospect, twice was the Dodgers minor league player of the year. It seemed like we heard about him year after year after year, but never got a chance really with a big league club. Getting a lot of playing time in St. Louis. Their regular third baseman Troy Gloss has not played all season. There's strike 3 to Thurston for the second out and the second strikeout for Tomo Oka.
Heck of a breaking ball there from Oka. Starts in the middle of the zone and just disappears down and in. Pretty pitch.
Take a look at our Gillette trivia question today. Which perennial all-star has the highest batting average in this decade? Give it a little while to think about that. Breaking ball is low to the number 9 batter, the shortstop Brendan Ryan, who popped up to Luis Valbuena, his only at bat in the third. A 1-1 game here in the top of the 5th inning. Baseball is a funny game. You know, you look at the marquee matchup they have in this series tomorrow night. Cliff Lee against Chris Carpenter. Of course, Lee won the Cy Young Award last year in the American League. Carpenter, arguably, when he's healthy, is one of the top 4 or 5 pitchers in the game today. And then you look at a game like this one, when Tomo Oka's not started in 2 years, just called up from the minors. Brad Thompson is making just his 3rd start. You see the great numbers for Carpenter already. And a game like today, you figure a lot of scoring. Here we are, 1-1 in the 5th.
Locked in a pitcher's duel. Tomo Oka steps off. Yadier Molina starting to get under the skin of the right-hander. Bouncing around out there. That's all it takes a lot of times. If you just distract a pitcher enough, he may make a mistake to the plate. And Brendan Ryan might get something he can handle. Good pitch. Maybe you don't want to make Tomo Oka mad after all. Watch this one just buckle. Yeah. That front knee still buckling.
1-1 on Ryan. The go-ahead run is at second base, and a high bouncer. Peralta plays it on the second hop, and had no chance when he played it on that second hop. If he'd have come to get it on the first high bounce, he would have easily thrown out Ryan, but Peralta took that second hop, and it cost him.
Yeah, he hesitates, and when you hesitate at the major league level, he could have come in and gotten that ball. Instead, he decided to play it on the hop. That second hop is all it takes for the speedy Ryan to get to first. This is actually a really nice play by first baseman Ryan Garko on the short hop. If that ball gets by, Molina's going to score. He easily beat it. So the Cardinals in business here in the top of the 5th.
Runners on the corners with 2 men out, and the leadoff man bats for the 3rd time. Skip Schumacher. He's popped to short and fouled out to third, 0 for 2. The Cardinals in the month of April were virtually unbeatable. 16-7. And I mean, everybody in the lineup was hitting 330, 350, 410. And that's not an exaggeration.
No.
I mean, they led the major leagues in runs scored in the month of April. But then Ankiel went down, Ludwig went down, and their offense went down in a hurry. Went through a stretch of nearly 3 weeks where only 5 times they scored more than 3 runs in a game. You see their average for the month of May.
Such a drop-off.
Barely at 3.5 runs per game after scoring almost 6 per game in the first month. A lot of fans, I guess, on the talk shows back in St. Louis have been on Hal McRae, the hitting coach, and Mike Aldretti, his right-hand man, and Tony La Russa came out and said, you know, when are we going to start blaming the players and not blaming the coaches? They're the guys that were hitting in April, and they're not hitting since.
And all of a sudden, Hal McRae, just this month, forgot how to be a hitting coach, I guess. Only one of the best in the business.
0-2 to Schumacher.
But that's the thing. Unfortunately, you can't fire the players, but you can fire the coaches. And all hitting coaches and pitching coaches, they just put in tireless hours with these guys.
Fouled out of play up the third baseline. Boy, you're right. I think that's the one thing that the average fan perhaps doesn't get a chance to see is the hours the coaches on every major league team, not just the Cardinals, not the Indians, every single one of them, the hours that these guys put in every day to try to help their players be better players.
I mean, from breaking down film to throwing batting practice to working in the bullpen. There's Dave Duncan, one of the best in the business.
Sinking liner caught. They had him defended perfectly. The Cardinals strand to middle of the fifth, still a 1-1 affair. Commercial real estate developer Dick Jacobs died after a long illness. Jacobs and his brother David bought the Indians back in December of '86 and really brought back the glory days of Indians baseball. Led to the building of this beautiful ballpark which bore Jacobs' name, opening in 1994. Sold the team to Larry Dolan in 1999. But certainly our thoughts and prayers to the friends and family of Dick Jacobs, who just had the services here in the Cleveland area, and he grew up here. He's a Northern Ohio guy, as they say in this part of the country.
And rest in peace, my friend.
Travis Hafner lifts a fly ball into right field. It's not going to get out of the ballpark, however, at the track. It's Ludwig for the first out in this 1-1 game here in the fifth. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Sears Craftsman. Trust in your hands. You've always been one of those do-it-yourself sort of guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've got all the phone numbers to call if something breaks.
That one pulled foul down the left field line.
Are you pretty handy?
Not particularly.
No.
I wish I could say I was. I marvel at those that are handy.
Here.
Deep in the hole, it's short off the glove of Ryan. And Garco will reach. I'm sure that will be scored a base hit.
That'll go as a base hit. That's a tough play to the right of Brendan Ryan. Largo takes a curveball and just rips it to the left side. Ryan did everything he could. I'm not sure he'd have been able to throw him out anyways, Tom.
Second hit of the game for Cleveland against Brad Thompson. The other one, a run-scoring single by Victor Martinez to tie the game at 1 in the 4th inning. An inning in which the Indians had scored. They had runners at first and third with nobody out and could not push across the go-ahead run. Valbuena bounced into a double play, starting with the second baseman Schumacher. His only time up. This one will sail over the head of Schumacher. And a diving play in right is made by Ryan Ludwig. So the one-time Indian takes a hit away from Valbuena for the second out of the inning.
Oh, what a pretty play. Got a good jump on the ball. Did Ludwig. Came in and made a sprawling grab. That ball gets by. That's a 2-1 game in favor of the Indians. Valbuena doggone it. A little stare down there.
Now Trevor Proe struck out his only time up. 1 run, 4 hits, an error, and 3 men left on base for St. Louis. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left for the Tribe. If you're just joining us, both teams wearing their retro uniforms, and for whatever reason, the year 1988 was selected as the year. I mean, not a memorable year for either team in any way, shape, or form. So go figure. I mean, it's not like it's an anniversary year, right? We're in 09 last time I checked.
It's been, yeah.
So
21 years, yeah.
I cannot figure it out for the life of me. I've asked 15 people the reason why.
And both teams had lousy seasons
right.
in '88.
One finished 5th, the other finished 6th. That is a foul ball.
So let's bring back '88, shall we?
Well, you were the National League's Rookie of the Year runner-up that year, if I'm not mistaken.
1988 was my rookie year. Yeah,
yep.
Chris Sabo was the Rookie of the Year.
Yep. I still see him all the time.
Does he still live in Cincinnati?
Still lives in Cincinnati.
Good man.
He is.
Here's the old-time Cardinal socks. I like that look.
I'm with you.
Everybody now, the bell-bottom look.
What a play by Albert. Coming off the bag to the glove side. Takes it double away. That's the way Mark Grace used to play. Albert Pujols will bat in the Cardinals' 6th of a 1-1 game. closest, most comfortable shade. And by Samsung Mobile. Make yourself organized with the Samsung Jack phone. McGann Keel turns on the first pitch, hits it into the upper deck down the first base line.
That ball was killed, but it was about 900 feet foul. It's hard to do.
1-1 game. Heart of the order for Tony La Russa's Cardinals here in the 6th against Tomooka. It's the 3rd time now through the batting order. Boy, Oka has been mighty impressive. And again, for those of you just joining us, his last major league start came on the 6th of June, 2007 in Toronto, pitching for the Blue Jays against Tampa. He only lasted 3 1/3 innings in that game, giving up 10 hits.
Wow,
5 earned runs.
He's working on a gym here this afternoon.
You know, it really makes you wonder, Gracie, why a guy like Oka has not been given more of a chance. I mean, how many guys in this day and age that have a 4.14 career ERA? 4.14.
You take
Spanning
that.
nearly 200 starts in the big leagues, yet he didn't have a job.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
No.
It makes you wonder if there was maybe an injury situation or any more. Unfortunately, Tommy, it's one of those things. If you don't bring something to the table like a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
This one in the air again to left center field, and Albert Pujols has homered for the 2nd straight time. Mercy, mercy. Hit number 21 in the 4th. Number 22 comes in the 6th, and it's 2-1 St. Louis.
I think Tomooka's going to have to start pitching around Albert Pujols. He makes another mistake this time. A fastball right down the middle. And Albert just short and quick to the ball. And my goodness, did that ball go? Oh, that's a long, long ways.
Fourth time this season, Pujols has hit 2 or more home runs in a game. 27 times now he's done it in his career. We talked about him hitting his 20th home run in the game here last night. Ground ball to Peralta, who throws out Rasmus, 2 away in the inning. Let's take a look at our Gillette trivia question. Which perennial All-Star has the highest batting average in this decade?
I have a feeling we might be looking at him.
You got it. 334. How about that number? 334.
That's insane.
It is.
And with all the power, you would maybe think that about a Rod Carew.
Yeah.
Somebody like that. Not a slugger.
Oh, and 2 to Ludwig.
But we were talking about Tomooka right before Albert Pujols just rudely interrupted us with that long ball. But Tomooka's a guy that he's not going to light up the radar gun with fastballs. He's not a big strikeout guy, so a lot of people think, I just don't think he's going to be too useful. Well, he is useful.
Line into center on a 0-2 pitch, a base hit for Ludwig. That's his first hit today. Second hit of the inning. After the Cardinals got 2 hits in the 5th off Oakland. And the inning continues for Chris Duncan, who has a broken bat single on the right. And rolled out to Oka his last time up in the 5th. Albert hit his 20th home run of the season last night in what was the Cardinals' 62nd game of the year. The only other time he's reached 20 home runs quicker was in that mind-boggling start you may remember in 2006 when he had 20 home runs in the first 42 games of the year. And by the way, he finished that season with 49 home runs.
Well, he was just remarkable. And to hit that many home runs, and it's not happening today, but he gets pitched around a lot, Tom. It's like Barry Bonds. He had all those homers being intentionally walked or walked so often.
I got to tell you, though, Gracie, and you and I saw Barry Bonds through those unbelievable years in San Francisco. You were playing against him, and you were up in the booth. We were working together there in the National League West. And, you know, Bonds was intentionally walked, 150 times a year.
Right.
Now, Pujols is not even knocking on the door of that kind of number. And I got to tell you, I mean, I am just stunned watching the Cardinals play a lot, that more teams are not abiding by that 150-year-old adage in baseball. We're not going to let this guy beat us. Well, until guys like Ludwig or Rasmus or Ankiel or whoever it is, they're batting behind him in their lineup. As there's a ground ball for the force out to end the inning. I'm stunned more teams are not just putting him on base because of this.
They better start. We're going to see a lot of trot.
2-1, Cardinals in front.
Thompson's given up here this afternoon. He pitches with a 1-run lead.
Only given up 2 hits. That was one of them. The other, the run-scoring single by Victor Martinez in the Cleveland 4th inning. A very impressive line for Brad Thompson. Good breaking ball there to get ahead 0-2 on Jamie Carroll. We mentioned for Oka, 3rd time through the batting order. The same can be said now for Brad Thompson. You heard Tony La Russa talking about Thompson earlier. Going back to spring training, he knew he would be in the Cardinal bullpen, was hoping he would be in the Cardinal bullpen, and pitched out of their bullpen, although infrequently, the early part of the year, and that is strike 3 to Carroll. 4 strikeout for Thompson. After Kyle Loesch went down, he made his first start of the year 11 days ago against the Reds. Cardinals won that game 5-2. He went 5 innings, allowed just 2 runs, and then pitched into the 5th, gave up 3 runs in a loss to Colorado during that 4-game sweep. So today, his best start of the 3. And it's ball 1 to Mark DeRosa.
He's only thrown 70 pitches, so there should be still plenty of gas left in the tank. Changing speeds well today, using both sides of the plate. And a lot of sinkers, a lot of ground balls.
3-0 on Mark DeRosa, who walked on 4 pitches his last time up. Or see the pitch count by inning for Thompson. That 4th inning, again, if you weren't with us, the Indians had scored a run. They had runners at 1st and 3rd with nobody out. In essence, Martinez was caught stealing. Went on a pitch in the dirt. He broke for 2nd. Couldn't get back to 1st in time. Then a strikeout, keeping the runner at 3rd. Then a strikeout to end the inning. And on a 3-1 pitch, DeRosa grounds out to the 3rd baseman Thurston, 2 away.
Terrific pitch there from Brad Thompson. 3-1. You know the dangerous Mark DeRosa's looking for a fastball. He ran a fastball right in on the hands and jammed him.
Now Victor Martinez. He is grounded to short, single to right to knock in a run in the 4th. His 45th run batted in. That's a team high for the Indians. Breaking ball down and in. Told you about the White Sox beating up on Milwaukee. Now 7-0 Chicago. That game in the bottom of the 5th inning in Milwaukee. Up and in, 3-0 on Martinez. And the Mets with a 5-1 lead over the Yankees in the Subway Series.
Well, the Mets lost a heartbreaker to the Yanks last night.
Ball 4.
A dropped pop-up by 2nd baseman Luis Castillo off the bat of Alex Rodriguez into the ball game. Wow. Walk off.
2nd walk issued by Thompson. He's also hit a batter. So Chu will bat with a tying run aboard. Chu has bounced out to 2nd and struck out swinging. That was a strikeout with a runner at 3rd and 1 out in that 4th inning. Minnesota beat the Cubs earlier today 2-0.
Cubbies are struggling.
Game under 500. You know, we talked about that Cub team that, you know, outside of Rich Harden, who had the 15 days on the DL, he came back today, pitched a very good game. But that big run producing 3rd baseman, Aramis Ramirez, is their one significant, really their only significant big injury this year. And boy, do they miss him. Swinging a miss by Chu, and he's gone on strikes. 5 of them in the game for Brad Thompson, working on a 2-hitter that has a 1-run lead at the end of 6. Alliance brand, most perfect for you. Alongside Mark Race and our entire Fox crew, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome back to Cleveland. Of course, Fox, a home of the All-Star game, coming your way from Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, July the 14th. That is a Tuesday night. And you certainly don't want to miss that. Well, you got to believe right now the Cleveland catcher, Victor Martinez, would be in that game. Every team is represented. And Yadier Molina might find his way into the starting lineup. We know his running mate down at first base will be in the starting lineup.
I think the fans, they usually get it right.
Let's take a look at the National Leaguers and the leading vote getters so far. Albert Pujols, nearly 1.8 million. Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, and David Wright to go with Braun, Beltran, and Ibanez. Ibanez having an unbelievable year. And Molina is the leading vote getter behind the plate. Only fitting he would get a base hit into center field. There are catchers in the National League having a better offensive year than Molina. I'm not sure if anybody shuts down the running game any better than Molina. Rafael Perez gets ready down in the Cleveland bullpen. That is going to be a spectacular night from Busch Stadium in St. Louis on Tuesday, July the 14th.
What a great baseball town to host it. St. Louis, Missouri.
Joe Thurston, with a leadoff man aboard here in the St. Louis 7th inning. The Cardinals have a 2-1 lead. Thurston shows bunt, takes up and away, ball 1.
Jose Oquendo going to come have a conversation. No time for guesswork.
Of course, the last time we saw this combination with Molina at first base and Thurston at the plate, they tried to hit and run. Thurston swung and missed. But the throw from Martinez was in the dirt down to the covering Johnny Peralta. And Molina got credit for a stolen base.
This is a good count to do the hit and run here. A 1-0 count. Should get a fastball or something in the strike zone. Well, they're thinking bunt.
Now, do you rethink that 2-0?
2-0. Yeah, I do. I do rethink that. I think right now, with a 2-0 count and a guy that is a strike thrower, no walks today for Tomohooka. I think right now would be a good time to turn him loose. Trust him to get a pitch he can handle, and if he gets it, he can hammer it.
Bunts it in the air. Martinez, a spectacular play to not only find the ball, but then go and get it, leaving his feet. That's the first out of the inning, and what a play by Victor Martinez.
Boy, the effort by Martinez, so impressive. The ball's popped up. Okay, now I'm going to go get it. And with the gear on, make the dive and get a huge out for Tomohooka and the Indians. Right into your living room. That is just a great play. Love the effort.
Now Brendan Ryan. So they have Thurston bunt on a 2-0 count. He's unable to advance a runner. Ryan has popped to second as an infield hit. They may play hit and run in this at bat. Perhaps Oka thinking the same thing. Trying to get Molina over to third with less than 2 men out.
Tony La Russa kept the bunt on a 2-0 pitch. Thurston got one right down the middle, but he bunted it straight up in the air. So now Tony La Russa going to have to spin the wheels a little harder.
Ryan trying to butt his way on for a hit, fouls it off. Well, a mostly sunny late afternoon is turned into a mostly cloudy early evening here in Cleveland. Brad Thompson has pitched a gem here today. So too is Tomooka. A pair of home runs by Albert Pujols. As St. Louis in front, 2-1. We're in the 7th with 1 on and 1 out. Runner breaks for second, and the throw is in time. No argument from Molina. That ball thrown by Martinez on the third base side of the second base bag, and you thought no way they'd get it. Well, they did.
What a heck of a tag from Luis Valbuena, the second baseman. The ball gets away. The throw down. Well, that's tough to tell. Second base umpire Jeff Kellogg right on the call. Fires up Martinez. That's a couple of terrific plays he's made here in the inning. But no argument at all from Molina. What a tag.
What a tag is right. Breaking ball off the corner. 2-1 to Ryan. So the Indians, if they can get one more out from Tomooka here in the 7th inning, you certainly would believe this will be his final inning. And you can't ask for much better.
Oh, he's been terrific. If you get 7 innings of 2 runs, 2 long balls by Albert Pujols, and that has been it. Now the Cleveland fans getting behind him.
One hopper, and he'll get the final out in the 7th. 2-1 ball game as they stand and stretch in Cleveland. Sugar for a limited time only. By the new Kentucky Grilled Chicken. Taste the unfried side of KFC. And by Hyundai Assurance, a little certainty in uncertain times. Lots of boaters out on Lake Erie earlier today. Good ball game here as we open the bottom half of the 7th inning. St. Louis in front, 2-1. Tomooka 7 innings of 7-hit 2-run baseball, surrendered a pair of home runs to Albert Pujols.
Yeah, we found ourselves smack dab in the middle of a pitcher's duel here. Maybe a semi-unexpected one, Tom.
Oh, I don't think there's any maybe about it. You know, it's not like these guys have ERAs of 7 or 8 or 9,
right,
and they're making their 9th, 10th, 11th start of the year. Of course, you have an ERA that high, you're probably not making an 8th, 9th, or 10th start of the year. But the Cardinals have activity in their bullpen. Mott, the hard-throwing rookie right-hander. Veteran Trevor Miller, the left-hander, 2-2 on Johnny Peralta, to be followed by Hafner and then Garco. You know, for a normal starting pitcher, the 85 pitches is not a big deal. That one banged into left field. It'll go to the wall. Peralta will make the turn. He'll come to second. Here comes a throw from Ankiel. Not going to be in time. And the tying run stands in scoring position to open the 7th inning. Will that be all for Thompson? We're starting to say, the guy's been starting all year long. That's not a big pitch count.
87 pitches now. That's a breaking ball. It just stays on the inner third, and Peralta just rips it down the line. And Tony La Russa answers our question, Tom. He has made a move. He's going to go to his pen.
Well, for a guy who's been pitching out of the pen, that is a lot of pitches for Thompson. He gets a pat on the back.
Job well done.
The third of the year for Brad Thompson. You see his line, the 1 run, an unearned run, back in the 4th inning, but he leaves with a tying run at second base, nobody out after the double by Johnny Peralta. Josh Barfield comes in to run for Peralta. Take a look at our Zantac relief pitcher profile on Trevor Miller. On to face the left-handed batting Hafner. Hartburn attacking Zantac. Left-handers this year, only 6 hits and 42 at-bats against Trevor Miller. Good breaking ball for strike 1.
There's Josh Barfield. He came on to pinch run for Johnny Peralta after the leadoff double. So speed at second base. But the left-handed specialist now, Trevor Miller, on to face the always dangerous Travis Hafner. You like to call him Pronk.
Project and Donkey. Bill Selby gave him that nickname. Grounded foul at the very minimum. And I mean, in his heyday when he was going big home run numbers, big RBI numbers, the only thing Hafner's thinking about is tying this game with one crack of the bat. At the very minimum, Eric Wedge would like to see him pull the ball to the right side to get that tying run to third base.
Yeah, at the end of this at bat, Eric Wedge wants to see Barfield at third, at worst. Yeah, in a perfect world, you'd love a base hit or a long ball. But the little things tend to come into play in one-run games.
Straight away center field, not going to be deep enough to advance the runner the way Rasmus can throw the ball. They're not even going to take the chance. So one away. Let's take a look at the in-game box score for the Indians. Brought to you by Hyundai, introducing the all-new 306 horsepower real-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Pretty quiet in that lineup. Very, very quiet against Brad Thompson, Trevor Miller, and now another pitching change will be made by Tony La Russa. This will bring on the right-hander Mott from the pen in a one-run game. Over on the mound. Earlier this week, he allowed home runs in back-to-back games Monday and Tuesday after not allowing a single round tripper the first 37 games to begin his career.
A hard thrower, mid-90s with the fastball.
First pitch swinging and popping it up is Ryan Garco. Joe Thurston the call and the catch. 2 away in the inning after the leadoff double. Take a look at our DirecTV game break. Back we go to Milwaukee in the 5th inning. Already in front 6-0. The White Sox get a long one from Ramon Castro and lead 7-0. Those Cardinal fans like to see that. St. Louis beginning play a game and a half behind the Brewers in that National League Central Division.
Cardinal fans also happy with seeing the Minnesota Twins going into Wrigley Field and beating the Chicago Cubs earlier this afternoon.
Mott, a converted catcher, was a catcher in the Cardinals organization up until 2 years ago.
Now you see why he's a pitcher. That's gas right on the outside corner. Usually when a guy gets signed as a catcher and you turn him into a pitcher, that means one thing, Tom. He's probably a lousy hitter, but he had a good arm.
So why not?
Gas, 97 miles an hour.
You feel like you need a cup of decaf every time you watch this guy come into a game.
He's beautiful, isn't he?
Now Buena behind 0-2.
Give me the ball.
He is constantly moving. How does a guy like that, maybe he couldn't slow down enough to catch?
That's a great point. You got to be in control. You got to be, you got to think along with the pitcher. Relax. No, not him. Give me the ball. Look in. Give me a sign quick, because I really want to throw this thing. I want to throw it now.
The Cardinals on opening day, they brought Mott in to try and save the game. He blew the save. And admittedly, and you certainly have to admire the fact that Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan, they look you both right in the eye and they say, you know what, that's our fault, not his fault. He's a rookie pitcher. We should not have handed him the closer's job on opening day. And he's pitched very well in his role since. One day they figure he will be the closer. But right now, it's a guy that's been around for a long time, the veteran Ryan Franklin.
I think eventually, like you said, this guy's going to be closing games for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's got the stuff. He's got the makeup. He's got no fear. And that is just gas. Another 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And he's a strike thrower, Tom. That's what you need in the closer spot. You need strikes. You don't want to give up any free passes late in the game. But he's doing a good job in this role, as you said.
This guy last year at Memphis, in 66 innings out of the bullpen, struck out 110 batters.
Goodness gracious. That's almost 2 an inning. Well, he's got 2 and 2 here. Let's see if he goes with the curveball or the fastball. Well, there's fastball to the outside corner. Valbuena and Mott have a little battle here.
7 pitches so far during this at bat. The tying run stands at second. Johnny Peralta led off the inning with a double. Josh Barfield came on to run for him. Trevor Miller got Hafner on a fly ball. Mott gets Garco to pop up. And now with 2 away, the 8th pitch in this at bat. In the air, pretty well hit into left center field. And it is caught shy of the track by Ankiel to end the inning. A leadoff double, and the runner never moved. and the top appliance brand, most perfect for you and yours. 2-1 ball game at the end of the 7th. Josh Barfield, after running a moment ago for Peralta, stays in the game to play second, shoving Luis Valbuena from second base over to shortstop, and now taking over on the mound, the man they're trying to recapture the stuff of the last couple of years, Rafael Perez. He has had a rough time of it.
And you can see why. Lots of walks. If you're a guy that, if you're not throwing strikes and you put free passes out there, they usually score. And the other thing when you're semi-wild as well, Tom, is you fall behind a lot and have to come over the middle of the plate, and promptly gives up a base hit on the first pitch he throws.
Top of the order, Schumacher, a base hit.
First pitch fastball, right down Broadway. Schumacher off the end of the bat, but good enough to get him a base hit. Matt Hergis, the veteran, having a good year.
Harris started the year with the Indians. First 13 games, he was getting banged all over the place, so they sent him to AAA Columbus. Well, they brought him back, and since coming back at the end of May, he's thrown the ball better. 6 1/3 innings, allowed 4 hits and 2 runs, walked 3 in those 6 1/3, and struck out 7.
Well, stuff-wise, it's a lot of fun. I mean, he throws very hard with a good slider. Just a matter of getting the confidence. Even guys with great stuff like this tend to lose confidence when things don't go well. I mean, look at that slider at 85 miles an hour. It's a thing of beauty.
He just turned 27 years old. In 2007, a 1.78 ERA in 44 games. Allowed 41 hits in almost 61 innings. Yes, that was the year the Indians got all the way to Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. But in the last year, nothing wrong with a 3.5 ERA, but certainly not the guy they saw the year before.
With this nasty slider. Goodness, Rick Ankiel had no chance there. It just looks like a fastball until it gets to the home plate dirt area, and then it's just gone.
Throw him another one, but too far outside. Two runs, 8 hits, an error, 4 men left on base for St. Louis. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 4 left for the Indians. 1 on, nobody out. We're in the 8th. And that's strike 3 on that slider again
to Ankiel. Well, there's the slider down and away. Ankiel once again nowhere near it. Guess who's up?
Well, as you look at the in-game box score, brought to you by Hyundai, introducing the all-new 306 power rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. The genesis of this Cardinal offense each and every night is Albert Pujols, and he has 2 home runs in the game. Ball 1.
Like it's been the last month and a half, Albert Pujols has been pretty much the entire offense for these St. Louis Cardinals. Once again here this afternoon, same story. 2 solo long balls.
This one blasted down the left field line, and playing it up against the wall out there is DeRosa. On to third goes Schumacher, so a pair of home runs and now a double for Albert Pujols.
Tom, he's hit 2 long balls today. I think he may have hit that ball even harder than the 2 home runs. Slider stays up in the zone, and he just kills it down the third base line. No way the runner on first is going to be able to score when you hit it that hard off the wall. Golly day, did he hit that ball hard.
Well, what about these?
That was a hanging inside slider that went about 6 or 7 rows up, and then hold your ears.
This one.
Halfway up the bleachers up there. And then another ringing double, just to show you that I'm not just a home run hitter.
And now the infield comes in for Cleveland. St. Louis looking to add to a 2-1 lead. Here's a rookie Rasmus, a left-handed batter, against Perez, and the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. It's a tall order here for Rasmus.
Well, if he was watching Rick Ankiel's at bat, which I'm sure he was, he saw Perez get ahead with the fastball and then go to the sliders. Well, he just got ahead with the fastball. If I'm Rasmus, I'm thinking he's got to throw me these sliders now.
2 in a row.
Sure enough, there's the slider right there. Get ahead with the fastball and then use that slider down and away. Terrific pitch. Well, against Rick Ankiel, it was the slider for the put away. I would imagine if you're Rasmus, it's coming again. Let's see if he's looking for it.
He gets away from Martinez, and Schumacher will score on the wild pitch. How about that? And it is a 3-1 lead for St. Louis. Pujols advancing on to third.
Well, that's just a big mistake from Perez there. He had the 0-2 count there, and then he bounces the breaking ball. No chance there for Victor Martinez. It gets away, and the Cardinals score a cheapie. If you're the Cardinals, you are saying thank you very much on an 0-2 pitch with 2 outs.
Well, you're not lying. I mean, if you get the strikeout of Rasmus, move the infield back, you probably walk the next batter, Ludwig, with a base open, and pitch to another left-handed batter, and Duncan.
There's the strikeout.
Yep, there's a strikeout on that slider.
Boy, you're kicking yourself now if you're Perez. You just tried to make the slider too good. This is the one you wanted. You can see these left-handed hitters have got no chance on that slider.
Well, now will they pitch to Ludwig? And the answer is no. We didn't think they would with left-handed batting Chris Duncan on deck. Of course, the Cardinals have the option. I mean, you never see it. We always have the option of sending up a right-handed batter to hit there for Duncan.
Well, you certainly can. And the only thing you're losing is the hitter Duncan. He's not playing a position today. He's the designated hitter.
This will be the intentional walk to Ryan Ludwig. And there's ball 4. So here comes Duncan with a run home, 2 on and 2 out, and a 3-1 St. Louis lead.
Well, if Chris Duncan was watching the 2 left-handed at-bats in front of him, he saw Perez get ahead with the fastball and then go to the slider. So if you're thinking about first pitch swinging here, if you're Chris Duncan, I would imagine you're thinking fastball. Pitchers get in patterns, and right now that's been the pattern for Perez against the left-handed hitter. Let's see if he goes with the first pitch fastball.
Breaking ball low and away. And that, well, at least miles per hour is why, was a fastball at 91. Or does he throw in a slider that
Well, he's got a little cut fastball.
Right.
And then the sliders have been anywhere from 83 to 86.
Yeah, the only guy I've seen throw a 91 mile per hour slider was Rob Dibble.
Oh God, that just hurt to remember.
You hit him pretty well, if I remember.
That was okay.
There weren't many.
It was no fun to face.
1-0 delivery. And a bouncer to the right side. So Perez just gobbles up the left-handed batters. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. But he gives up a couple of hits and a run, and the Indians trail by 2. TNT, your world delivered by Smirnoff Ice. Please drink responsibly. And by Zantac. Heartburn, attack it. Zantac. Numerous changes. We'll tell you about those in a minute, but first our Smirnoff Ice game summary. Pujols, a pair of solo home runs. Interesting that as we celebrate 1988 here today, the Cardinals' home run leader that entire year was Tom Brunansky, who hit 22 home runs. With the 2 long ones today, Pujols has 22 home runs.
Amazing. Game's changed a little bit offensively, hadn't it?
Indeed it has.
That was back when Whitey Herzog was at the helm of this Cardinal ship. He was more about speed and defense. Long balls were fine, but there just weren't many of them.
Of course, that was during that era when that great run of Cardinal teams in the 1980s was starting to rapidly decline.
Right.
All the great teams built around the speed of McGee and Coleman and Ozzie Smith and the one big bopper in the middle, Jack Clark, really their lone big home run threat. Those teams started to age and decline. Went through a bunch of managerial changes, of course, after Whitey Herzog. Joe Torre was there for a while, and Mike Jorgensen was there for a short time, replacing him before Tony La Russa left Oakland to come to St. Louis. Boy, they've won a lot of games since he arrived. Walt Jocketty, their great general manager for so many years. Of course, now he is the general manager in Cincinnati, going toe-to-toe with these Cardinals in that Central Division. 3-2 to Trevor Crowe, leading off the bottom half of the 8th inning. Told you the Cardinals have made some changes on defense. Still in right field, it is Ryan Ludwig. In left field, Skip Schumacher. And moving over into center field is Rick Ankiel. Changes in the middle infield. At both shortstop and second base. Here's a 3-2 to Crowe. And he draws a leadoff walk. Brendan Ryan, no longer the shortstop. Taking over there is Tyler Green. And Ryan now replaces Schumacher at second base. Some versatility on this Cardinal team. Guys that can play numerous positions.
Well, got a lot of moving parts. You can be prepared for, well, you can put your best defensive team out there late. You always find a good situation for pinch hitting, but now Mott with a leadoff walk brings the tying run to the plate.
Jamie Carroll looks at a strike. Mott came on to retire the final 2 batters in the 7th inning. Eric Wedge's team got a leadoff double, down a run at the time, and the runner never advanced from second base after that leadoff 2-base hit. Time for the Just for Men hair color hold leaders. We'll take a look at the St. Louis bullpen. Any bullpen under Tony La Russa is going to be busy. Number 1.
Not surprising at all. Tony La Russa loves going to his pen. As we've got a meeting on the mound, Dave Duncan going to go out and talk to his young fireballer.
Just as the Cardinals bullpen keeps their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. For more, log on to foxsports.com. The left-hander Dennis Reyes is ready to go in the St. Louis bullpen. Quick trip to the mound by Dave Duncan, the pitching coach. 1-1 to Jamie Carroll. 1-2.
Well, when you throw as hard as Mott does, you can sometimes get away with down the middle. He just reared back to it right down the middle, and he beat Carroll with that fastball.
Slider is strike 3 call. 1 away in the 8th.
Well, what a pitch. He goes to the breaking ball, and it goes right to the kneecaps. Beautifully executed there by Mott.
Now DeRosa, who has 10 home runs. 0 for 2 today, is fly to right, walked and grounded to third. Hardy on a fastball at 96 miles per hour is DeRosa, strike 1.
Well, DeRosa was loaded up. He tried to hit that one into those left field bleachers where Albert Pujols has gone a couple of times today. But he was tardy, as you said, Tom. That's how hard Mott's throwing. DeRosa, one of the better fastball hitters in the game.
K's assigned with Molina, and a fastball is high. 2 balls and a strike to Mark DeRosa. Kerry Wood, the Cleveland closer, just in case, starts to loosen in the bullpen. Reyes, the left-hander. You have the choice of having Martinez, who hits very well from both sides of the plate, next. Then you have the left-handed batting Chu after him. And that is a base hit into center field. Slamming on the brakes is Crow. So the tying run stands at first. The go-ahead run will come to the plate in the form of Victor Martinez. And here comes Tony La Russa, and he will turn Martinez around to bat right-handed. We'll take a break in the action. Cleveland banging on the door here in the 8th. In the bottom of the 8th inning, 3-1. Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, congratulates Melky Cabrera. To the fans that voted May's MLB Clutch Performer of the Month, presented by Pepsi. Learn more about the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month award at PepsiClutch.com. So many huge hits this month for Melky Cabrera. Now on to pitch, left-hander Dennis Reyes. Will turn around Victor Martinez, who has 10 home runs, 5 left-handed, 5 right-handed, obviously in far fewer at-bats as a right-handed hitter. Ball 1 up and away.
Big Dennis Reyes. Got a sinking fastball and a good breaking ball. Victor Martinez, this is his first look from the right side, and I'm sure that's the thinking behind Tony La Russa's move here is let's just turn him around because he hadn't done it yet. Good fastball right to the inside corner for strike 1. Five home runs right-handed. Let's just challenge him. Belt high right on the inside corner.
Well, the runner at second, DeRosa at first with 1 away. St. Louis leading by 2. Another good one. A lot of movement there.
Martinez thinks those are inside, but they're coming back to the inside corner. Another good pitch there from Reyes.
Reyes came up initially with the Dodgers. They thought he was going to be a great one. Of course, a Fernando Valenzuela look-alike, if you will.
And that pitch came back to the plate. That was a good call.
1-2. Got him to chase. An off-speed pitch, it didn't do much. Up and out of the strike zone, and Martinez retired for the second out of the inning.
Well, Yadier Molina wanted it inside. It ended up being 3 or 4 inches outside. Sometimes you can miss your spot by 1.5 feet and get away with it, and that was the case there from Dennis Reyes.
Now Chu 0 for 3 today. Chu, a .250 batter against left-handed pitching. That's not bad. He does have 2 of his home runs against left-handed. Ball 1 away. Of course, next week some will see the Cardinals take on the Kansas City Royals, in-state rivals getting together. Division leaders Milwaukee and Detroit. Others will see the Rays and the New York Mets. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Sears next weekend. There's a ground ball to the right side, which should end the inning. The Cardinal bullpen takes care of business. Reyes retires Martinez and Chu to keep it 3-1. We're off to the 9th in Cleveland. 3-1 ball game. St. Louis in front as the Cardinals bat in the top of the 9th inning against a new Cleveland pitcher having an outstanding year. A guy, Gracie, you've seen lots of through the years, right-hander Matt Herges.
Yeah, the veteran Matt Herges having a heck of a year, as you said. Been so reliable. Going to struggle the last few years, but boy, he's found himself here in Ohio.
Molina to be followed by Thurston and then Ryan.
A lot of movement on that fastball.
Ryan Franklin, the closer, cranking it up in the Cardinal bullpen. Got out of play. Cardinals got a solo home run from Albert Pujols to take a 1-0 lead in the 4th. In the bottom of the 4th inning, an error, a walk, and a single made it 1-1. Cleveland had runners at first and third with nobody out. Could not score again off starter Brad Thompson. That one in the hole, it's short. And cutting it loose, Valbuena to get Molina one away.
Well, that's a really nice play by Valbuena. Once it gets by the third baseman, Carroll, you're thinking it's a base hit. Strong arm across the diamond to easily get Molina. Look how far he's got to go to his right. I just threw a bullet over to the bag. It's a really good play.
Valbuena, that is his natural position at shortstop. One gone in the inning. And here's Thurston. Strike one from Herges. St. Louis broke the 1-1 tie on another home run by Albert Pujols. His second of the game, his 22nd of the year, his 4th in the last 3 games. And a single by Schumacher in the 8th, a double by Pujols, and a wild pitch brought in the 3rd run. Nice pickup there by Herges on the bunt attempt by Thurston, and there are 2 away in the inning. So here comes Brendan Ryan. Take a peek ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning. Josh Barfield, Travis Hafner, and Ryan Garco, the scheduled trio to start things against Ryan Franklin.
Well, that fastball really had some late run.
I tell you, Herges, he looks like he's 25 years old again, the way he's thrown the ball so far this year for the Indians.
He's been terrific and always been a guy that had good stuff. He's just bounced around a lot of, quote unquote journeyman.
I mean, he's really a journeyman. He waited a long time just to get to the big leagues. That one in foul ground is out of play.
But a 3-pitch guy, a fastball, a curveball, then a changeup. And he was one of those guys for a lot of years. You'd look at him in the scouting report. You'd go over him in meetings. You say, he's a basic right-hander. He's not going to dazzle you with his stuff. He's been around a long time. He's gotten a lot of big outs. 11 seasons now for Matt Herges.
Easy guy to root for, too.
Yes, one of the good guys of the game.
Yep,
no question.
There you get a look at the goals, the Seagulls that became quite famous here in Cleveland during this week. Winning a game against the Kansas City Royals. A line drive into center field actually hit one of those birds, and now they're calling the Seagulls a 10th man. It led to a run. A game they probably win anyway, but it's shot past the Kansas City outfielder, leading to a big inning. So now in between innings, they set off fireworks. Just one firework blast
to scare the birds
out of here. They've been sitting down in the outfield during games and waiting for Chow. And here's a play we were talking about on Thursday. You see they were everywhere.
Well, that's nuts. And here's the play. It hits the bird.
Yep.
And gets right by Coco Crisp.
Yep.
Ball game.
And a 4-3 win. Don't want to upset anybody. The bird was not injured. There's strike 3. And that'll end the inning. So here we go. Bottom of the 9th inning. Franklin trying to close it out, leading 3-1. Who have made a difference in their community. You can go to peopleallstars.com and vote for your favorite everyday All-Star who could represent your team and be honored at the 2009 All-Star Game in St. Louis on Fox July the 14th. Representing St. Louis, you see Melissa Landwehr, Julianne Nahar, Sarah Elizabeth Panzow, and in Cleveland, Brian Mogg, been very involved in homeless outreach. Dr. Michael Constant has focused his life's work on cystic fibrosis. And Michelle Wollenberg from Newark, Ohio, works with Little League baseball teams for children with special needs. There have been so many, and there are so many, whether they made this list from cities or your city. There's so many around this great country of ours.
You can't thank them enough.
Indeed. Josh Barfield to lead off the ninth, a pop-up in the short right field. Look out! And the ball falls in! And now the runner runs too far off the bag. And they have him in a rundown. And Barfield is tagged out. Can you believe that?
Boy, a couple of mistakes by both sides. Lack of communication here between Ryan and Ludwig. The ball falls, and then Barfield inexplicably gets caught out in no man's land. That's twice today. Base running mistakes have really come back to haunt the Cleveland Indians.
And look who is there at the first base bag.
Yadier Molina. And he's the one that gets the put out. And that run, Tom Brenneman, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean anything. Josh Barfield's run only makes you down by one. You have to be conservative in that situation. Don't run into an out. Give these big old rascals hitting behind you an opportunity to tie the ball game up.
Well, they scored that a base hit How in the world is that a base hit? Well, it's a hit for Barfield. And then it goes second to catcher to shortstop to catcher on the out. Breaking ball low and away. 1-1 to Travis Hafner. 1 out in the 9th inning. Franklin trying to get the final 3 outs of this game. And even this series at a game apiece, and pitch St. Louis within a half game of the Central Division lead. Milwaukee getting hammered today. That one lofted into short left field. A base hit by Hafner.
How big is that base running now?
Oh. You'd have first and second with Valbuena coming up, and you know they'd probably ask him to bunt. Instead, it's 1 on, 1 out. Or Garco, I beg your pardon. You would not ask him to bunt. Valbuena would be after him.
But one lesson learned there also, Tom, is Yadier Molina, Johnny on the spot. You've always got somewhere to be. Always back up a base. Always be there just in case. Yadier Molina was right there at first base, trailing the runner, and ended up getting a huge out.
Well, you could watch that happen in a Major League Baseball game 100 times, and the catcher would not be there 70% of it.
I agree with you.
So now Garco. Off the outside corner. This guy more than capable of tying this game with one mighty crack of the bat.
6 long balls and 137 at-bats. As the drum beat continues here in Cleveland.
Full foul.
Once again, watch Yadier Molina, and he's got his hands up saying, give me the ball. We got a chance to get an out here. Barfield sees him, and nope. And then he becomes an easy pickings. And Molina fittingly gets the put out.
Again, trying that outside corner is Franklin. 2 balls and a strike. Franklin has only blown 1 save try all year long. That's when he gave up a game-tying pinch hit home run by Micah Owings, a pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds a month ago. In a game the Cardinals won, by the way.
Well, he just reared back and threw a fastball right by Garco. Down around the knees, though. You're not going to do much with that one. Down around the knees. Garco took a big rip at it.
Two and two to Garco. In on his hands with a good fastball there, and it's fouled out of play.
Franklin just rearing back, challenging Garco with the fastball in.
He's scoring 4 runs or less. Breaking ball low and away. Cardinals have had a hard time winning games. Well, they've scored 4 runs or less in a lot of games since the beginning of May.
3-2 count. Garco representing the tying run.
Here it comes. Well, look, tardy, a very odd swing there on a 3-2 pitch.
Pretty good pitch there as well from Franklin. Looked like a little cut fastball down around the knees in the outside corner. A very defensive swing there by Garco. But he scraped it foul, and he lives to see another pitch.
Garco, one of those few power guys that chokes up on the bat when he gets the 2 strikes in the bat to try and put the ball in play. And he does not do it on the 3-2 pitch.
Another defensive swing there from Garco, so Ryan Franklin winning the battle. Just a little cut fastball. Right down the middle, really, and right by him. Tom, I think you should try that beard right there. I think you'd look pretty good in that.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you'd look good in that. We'll just call it the Ryan Franklin.
Well, thank you. I'll consider it. Pitch on the way to Valbuena. Nope.
Yeah.
That is quite a, I don't know, is that a beard?
No, I guess it's considered a goatee. Really long one. Nice
ball.
break.
A beauty indeed to Valbuena, who has 1 home run since being brought up. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times today, although he's 0 for 3. We thank Clevelander Carol Langley McDermott, producer of our game today, and our director Ray Tipton. Breaking ball is strike 2.
Man, right to the outside corner. Beautifully executed there by Franklin. Watch the glove of Molina. It never moves. Perfect pitch.
So now Franklin tries to put this one on ice and just missed that outside corner.
Just missed. 2-2. Franklin went with the change up there somehow, some way. Valbuena able to lay off of it. Oh, it just missed.
Valbuena the tying run at the plate. 2 outs in the ninth, and the 2-2 on the way. In the air, short left field. Schumacher is there, and the Cardinals have won it by a final count of 3-1. Brad Thompson gets a victory. Franklin notches his 15th save. Tomo Oka, the tough luck loser, he pitched beautifully as well. And Albert Pujols, 3 hits, including a pair of solo home runs. We're back to wrap it up in Cleveland, Ohio in a moment.